Welcome to Beyond the Scale, the show where everyday heroes tell their stories on how they turn their lives around for the healthier. I'm Coach Brittany, and today's guest is Randall Pich. He'll be talking about the discipline and focus it takes to overcome negative influences. Hope you enjoy. Welcome, Randall Pich. I'm so pumped to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
So you are a hustler, you're a grinder, you know how to get things done and make your dreams happen. So I'm really excited to learn from you and see what advice we can get from you on how to live the best versions of ourselves.
Awesome, appreciate that.
So first off, can you just start by telling us a little bit what you currently are doing in your life?
Currently right now, full-time is being the CEO of Lifted Apparel. That's like my main gig, my main bread and butter, managing the clothing line. I'm still heavily part of the design team, so that takes a lot of the time. But just, being behind the desk and literally going in the office from X time to like being the last one to leave, that's kind of the main thing right now. It's just live fit full blown right now.
Awesome. Yeah, I can imagine all that artistic design takes a lot of energy out of you.
Oh yeah, it fries the brain for sure.
Yeah. So taking a few steps back, I know you grew up in Long Beach. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience growing up?
Yeah, I grew up specifically on the east side of Long Beach.
Okay.
So Long Beach is a pretty big city. Not a lot of people understand that. It's probably as big as LA. I don't know like exactly, but it's super multicultural, one of the most diverse cities in the United States. And growing up, when I'll remember being raised by a single mother, I didn't know at the time, but we grew up pretty poor, like we grew up in the hood. So I was raised with a single mother, like I said, older brother on Section 8 housing, like government funding stuff. And that was just, that's what I remember when I was a kid. I didn't know anything else, I think up until high school was or middle school. I think early middle school, I started realizing, okay, these different areas of Long Beach, and like this is not just where what my life is about. So yeah, it was pretty rough though.
So I can imagine growing up in rough neighborhoods like that and being involved with the wrong type of people.
Yeah.
Was that something that sucked you in?
Yeah, it's funny. Like now that I'm thinking back on it, it was like normal, you know what I mean? I remember like 4th, 5th grade, I remember my friends, they actually started gang banging when they were like in 5th grade.
Wow.
Like no joke, like holding guns and all, like getting burners and whatnot. But it's like, it was so, like I would see it subconsciously, like around, and it just didn't fascinate me at the time. I was introduced to skateboarding. So that was the hobby that pulled me away from everything. Cause not to say Long Beach is just like completely hood in this section. There was a lot of things going on as well, music, just a lot of different cultures. So I found skateboarding, and that kind of like when I went outside on like summer days or when my mom was at work or after school, I would go skateboard, and it was funny because some of my friends that were gangbangers, they would come skateboard too, but it was like they kept getting pulled by the gangs, and then they eventually grew up and just gangbanged. And I just stuck with skateboarding and stuff.
So what do you think it was that kept you on skateboarding and not getting pulled into the gangbanging scene?
The fact that I was actually getting pretty good.
Yeah?
I think,
okay.
Yeah. And I knew, I was like, man, that's like not the life I want, because you watch movies and all this stuff, you see stuff on the news, like, oh, people getting locked up and doing all this, doing time. And I was like, man, that's not my thing. And my mom always tell me, like, stay away from these guys, stay away from a couple of my friends. She knew they were gangbangers. So, I was always like aware that was bad, obviously,
Yeah.
My parents instilled that in me too, like, don't get tattoos, don't get tattoos. You're going to end up like this guy. You got to stay in school, do this, It was hard for them to even let me skateboard at first because they knew I was going to be outside being exposed to the whatever's out there, So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think skateboard was what really kind of separated me from the bad parts of, going down that spiral, negative downhill.
Got it.
Yeah.
And now your mom, how was she a big influence on you? It sounds like she played a big part in you growing up.
Yeah, it's funny, and it kind of sucks that I had to realize it later, because when you're young, she was just like that person, like, oh, I wanted this. I didn't have any money. So, Mom, you have to get this for me because if not, then I'm a loser or something,
Right.
So like whether it be a pair of shoes, clothes, skateboards, you know, it was just mom, and she would literally do everything to her power to get me what I wanted, even though we didn't have the means to, you know. So
Right.
I don't know how she budgeted it and stuff. And yeah, and I have an older brother too, and he did the same. Not as much as me, but you know, so
Okay.
just seeing that and now realizing what she did, I was like, okay, I can't, like I have to make it, and I have to make it for her as well, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine that helps,
Yeah.
you know, fuel your drive that you have now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, growing up, you know, started skateboarding, everything like that. I know you also got into graphic designing and making t-shirts. When did that come about?
So that was later in high school. So by the time I was in high school, I was like pretty aware of everything, you know, like I was skateboarding on and off. It's still like my hobby. But my sophomore year, that's when I really got into graphic design. That's when I took my first and only graphic design course. So I was always like an artistic person, artistic kid. You know, I would just doodle on like a sketch pad and stuff too, as like a skateboarder or whatever. You know, do graphics on like the grip tape, spray paint and stuff. And when I took the graphic design course, that's where I learned how to actually like use Photoshop and Illustrator and all these other programs. And that really expanded my spectrum of what graphic designing or that whole outlet is about. And then I just dug deeper and started YouTubing my own, or YouTubing like different techniques of what I wasn't learning in the class. And yeah, it just went from there. And then I still graphic design today, and the only course I took was in high school, you know.
Wow.
Because I learned everything on my own.
Yeah, I mean, that says a lot. That shows your passion, and that, you know, it sounds like that's what your life path was kind of meant to be. So I know you also went to college, but you didn't go to college for graphic design. What'd you go to college for?
So yeah, I went to college. First, I went in for business just because I had to choose something.
Okay.
You know? And then I discovered the Department of Kinesiology. So that introduced me to personal training. So that's how I got into that field. But yeah, I went to college for kinesiology, option in exercise science. And I went up until like 5 or 6 years, like almost being done. And the only reason why I didn't finish, or one of the main reasons why I didn't finish, was because they required so many internship hours, you know, for like a corporate internship and traditional internship hours, like at a Valley Total Fitness, which I was doing at the time. But I didn't have any time to do corporate hours because at that time, when I was in college, like 5 years deep, I was already running like 3 different businesses, owning like the t-shirt store, doing a ton of stuff, personal training privately. So I had like a clientele. I was like, dude, I cannot sacrifice any more of my time,
Right.
Because my business was growing. So, and then I just stopped. Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, why didn't you do any type of art major in college?
So it's weird, like, man, I do like a lot of research on my own. I like in high school, and I just realized like people that are doing art or whatever, art majors, never really make a lot of money or not make a living. The people that were actually making a living in art or whatever were like tattoo artists in my eyes, you know, and they were like killing it and stuff. And these guys never went to college, but they're like drawing and doing that kind of stuff. So I was just like, no, I don't want to do that no more.
Okay.
You know? But it all panned out to be like a business at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
If I were going to make a shirt, graphic design it, do that, I still have to sell it, you know? And I was a one-man army for forever. So, and I ended up being the business person, you know?
Okay, so you mentioned now that you were a trainer at Bally's, correct? And so how was that experience? Did you enjoy doing that?
Dude, I actually had like the time of my life at Bally's. Like I was killing it, personal training. I didn't know so backtracking when I was at corporate Bally's, I didn't know like how to really scale like boot camps and group training and stuff, you know, because they only allowed you to train one client at one time and push you to, you know, just sell these packages, doing one-on-ones. And they taught me how to actually like really be like a salesperson, you know, how to be like confident in myself. And like, if you're gonna, you know, you have to charge this because this is your time, because of your knowledge, of your education that you're giving your clients, you know? So they taught me how to just like be a savage and just close deals, you know? I would never knock like corporate like that. And they have overhead. So, you know, I understand that, you know, the money's got to go back there. I mean, at the end of the day, they taught me structure. They taught me how to like literally run and schedule my clients and stuff like that. I mean, how to somewhat be a business person as well, you know? They taught me not to sell myself short. And, you know, I spent 5 years at Bally's, moved from a scrub trainer to like this master trainer, black shirt, you know, realizing now it's just the trainers that give Bally's more money. But yeah.
So it sounds like you were good at, getting people to commit to their fitness goals and, sign up. How did you convince clients that, investing in their fitness was worth it?
I used myself as an example a lot, as well. Because I was closing deals from professionals to like college students and people that, were on a budget, but they were still like eating shit foods or crappy foods or buying energy drinks with like high sugar, Skittles here and there and that. I'm like, if you add this stuff up, like every time you buy or whatever, you can get a training session in, So if you can't afford this long package, or how about we do like 2 times a week, and I'll keep track of what you're eating, blah, blah, all this stuff, and making sure to help you guide, and yeah, so it was always a way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's definitely making the clients aware of, where they can cut back on certain things and really invest in what they want if they want to live the best versions of themselves. Now, you yourself have been in fitness competitions, right?
Right.
So how did you manage to stay on track with your fitness goals and not give up when, times get hard and maybe you don't want to continue with it? How'd you stay on track?
Oh man, the first time I actually had a coach, that guy, Larry Camacho, that I met in high school. He actually coached me through my first bodybuilding competition, and it was hard. It was like more mental, but it was good to have his support. But when like you were like by yourself and stuff, you just have to think of like the end result, and think about why you're doing it. And for me, it was like I knew it was going to build up my resume a little bit. It was going to make a little bit of a name for myself locally. So just thinking long term, like, hey, it's going to help me out. So.
Okay, awesome. And just curious, did you win any competitions or?
My first bodybuilding competition was for Muscle Mania League.
Okay.
I actually did bodybuilding, like not physique. So I was a junior then. I was 19 years old. It was 2009. I still had that trophy. I won that just because I was the only junior there.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, dude, I got a trophy, But realizing later, I was like, dude, I don't have big legs or nothing.
You still showed up though. No one else showed up, and you showed up.
So I did that for a couple years, bodybuilding. Then I switched over to physique when I found out about what the NPC was. So that's another league. So I switched over to NPC and did physique, where they wear board shorts.
Okay.
So I don't have the biggest legs. So I was like, all right, sweet, this is dope. And these guys aren't like super jacked,
Yeah.
So I actually competed in that and won like 4 or 5 different shows and made it to like nationals. And then at nationals, I think the competition was the USA's. And it was like hundreds of people. And in my class, there were like 60 guys. And this was the chance where the first or top 2 turn pro.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this was all amateur prior, and I qualified. You had to win a show to qualify for the USA's. Sorry, I'm like trying to backtrack. So then I made it to the USA's, and then my first USA's, out of 60 guys, I got 3rd place, 1 place of turning pro. And this was like the very beginning of like when I had Live Fit, so I was kind of balancing a lot of things at the time. That was just like, because my dream then was like I wanted to be a pro, like how cool would that be just to be like an IFBB pro. But I fell short from that, and then business started taking off, and then I could see like I started slacking on like the physique. I competed a few more times and won like the local shows, but when I went to nationals, dude, these guys just got bigger and bigger and like more ripped, and I was just like, no, it's not for me anymore,
Got it, yeah.
But it did teach me a lot, and it got me a lot of exposure too, because I was always rocking my brand. Everywhere I went, all the competitions, the jackets, like the whole squad, we got the shorts on and everything. So.
Yeah, where did I get one of those?
Exactly. So it's marketing at the same time.
Yeah, perfect. So how did you actually get started in Live Fit?
So Live Fit was actually a slogan from my personal training business.
Okay.
So my personal training business is RP Fitness, and the slogan was Live Fit, and that's what I plastered everywhere on like our clothes and merchandise. I remember our very first t-shirt just had Live Fit right here, and then it had like Long Beach, California right here, Team RP in the back, and then we had this zip-up hoodie, like a black with a white contrast zipper, and it's just Live Fit like that. And I would just, I made merch for my clients, and everyone just started rocking it and stuff like that, and put it on social media, and then that's where it really got buzz from people that weren't working out with me, but they just saw the clothes and stuff, and they're like, oh, how do I be a part of that,
Yeah.
Like, where can I get that shirt? And so people would hit me up, and I would actually drive to people locally with the merchant in the trunk of my car and literally sell it to them. And then it just got to a point where, it was just too much, and people that were hitting me up were from different states or whatnot, because it's the power of social media.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's when I started to really separate the Live Fit brand from my RP Fitness, because at this time I'd had so many experiences with clothing brands that have failed, but I knew the process of making merch and stuff and how to do an e-commerce platform. So so I took the Live Fit brand and created it and made it to another e-commerce platform, and then just took orders from people that were asking me about it, that I couldn't drive to.
What do you think it was that made Live Fit stand out and, be able to branch off into its own brand away from the personal training?
I think when I started pushing it as a brand, so at that moment, I always wanted a team as well. So I right off the bat, when I switched it to, or separated it from RP Fitness, I was like, all right, I want a team of athletes, bodybuilders, skateboarders, surfers, or whatever. So we did that. I added a few influencers or athletes that were in the game at the time. And then I would just literally push it with my friends that were still skateboarding and surfing too as well, and then mesh it all in one on this, on our Instagram or Facebook. And no one's really seen that yet or ever, where there's a bodybuilding scene with a surf scene and a skate scene,
Right, yeah.
So I felt like I kind of meshed all those together. And then the style was not so much of stringers and bodybuilding type of clothes, but we were in that scene as well. So we were just reintroducing the skate and streetwear style into the bodybuilding scene, and I guess people never really seen the streetwear side before, these bodybuilders. So they were like, oh, that's cool, So let me rock with it. So
now, how do you develop a mindset that just has constant hustle and grind?
For me, it's just, I don't know, I'm addicted to progress. When I see I get one result with, or say a one sale from a t-shirt, all right, I'm just I want another one, and then I want to outdo two, and then 1 month goes by and I want to outdo the previous month, But I'm just maneuvering, making sure if I'm going up on an upskill slope, just keep going that way,
Yeah, never settling.
Yeah, and just never settling. As long as I'm making moves and making progress, I'm gonna just keep going,
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person that just do something and then analyze it, and I'll just
go for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to take a lot of confidence in order to have a mindset like that. Where do you think your confidence comes from?
I think it comes from literally of how I grew up,
Yeah.
just being really independent. Obviously, my mom took care of us too, but she had to go to work a lot.
Right.
And when I was out skating and with my friends and stuff, it was just all up to us, I would get a couple bucks here and there from my mom a day, and I would learn how to stack that and really spread that thin and just, I don't know, hustle on the streets. For example, if I had a pair of wheels that I wasn't using anymore on a skateboard, I'd ask around who wants to buy a pair of wheels for $10,
Yeah.
And sure enough, someone would buy it, and I'll just save that, and
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I wasn't afraid of talking to people too,
Yeah.
And I think that's actually what Bally's taught me a lot as well. All these people that were walking through the doors, I was like, I don't care who you are, you need personal training,
Yeah.
So I was just closing everybody, and I was always a people person too.
Making those
I think, a social
Yeah.
person. And I think that goes far as being confident and, making yourself maneuver quickly,
Yeah, I think that also helps open a lot of doors because you never know who you're going to talk to.
exactly.
That's going to open an opportunity for
Exactly.
you. So how do you really stay laser focused on your purpose and your path in life?
Right now, I'm just really focusing on the business and the people that run the business, because my laser focus is, it's easy when you're by yourself, but if you want to sustain this business, in the long run, you got to make sure your guys are focused too. So I guess just seeing them focused, making sure everything's all streamlined, it's just all going to come together. But I can honestly say that it's just in my head, it's it's organized chaos, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm not always dialed. I mean, I am dialed in on a goal, but now since we've been in business for about, I think we're on 6 years now, it's kind of okay, let's keep the guys, laser focused. And I'm just learning how to delegate my time and leverage my time a lot more now. So I'm just making sure these guys are focused. You know, we would have meetings and whatnot, make sure everyone's having a good time too as well, because if we don't want to, I don't want to create a very like stressful environment. Because I used to work with like a sense of urgency. I mean, I still do, you know, we all still do, which is good, but we make sure that we have fun at the same time. Because I think,
important.
yeah, I think when you're having fun and doing all this stuff, especially with like a brand, like a streetwear brand, people want to see that stuff too, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that helps just keep everyone in focus. I always like reiterate the goal or what's going on, you know, keeping everybody in current, what's coming out next, you know, so.
I'm sure that helps fuel creativity too.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
So how can people at home relate, like let's say that they are trying to stay focused on their health goals. How can they break away from the unhealthy habits and, you know, maybe toxic relationships that they have to really stay focused on their goals?
They just got to think that, I mean, that's a hard one. You can go in different directions, but I think just being able to rely on yourself, you know, being able to not depend on anybody else. I've always been that way too, you know, even like, even with my fiance, Sarah, I like to just have everything myself. Like, I don't want any financial help. I don't want any help doing this, doing that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't know, just knowing that people come and go, you know, you want to make sure that you have all your securities, yourself, your foundations secured. I don't know.
Believing in yourself
believing in
and just
yourself.
knowing you got your own back.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of haters when it comes to either you, your brand, whatever the case may be. How do you keep them out and eliminate distractions?
Yeah, this is actually a common question, and it's been more common as you get bigger.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. So, I mean, I always tell people too, when you start off as business or whatever you're doing, make sure you're going straight. You know, you don't want to do any crooked stuff or lie or, you know, talk bad, talk down, do that stuff. Like every time I do business, I do it straight, you know, and I'm always honest, you know, so I've learned to just like take these opinions or what people say. I'm like, dude, it ain't true, you know?
Yeah.
And if they talk, whatever. And do we have so many years left in our life to live? It's going to come back around. If they really want to know, they can come ask me or ask someone that's close to me, you know? So I just kind of block it out. Or if I hear something that's like extremely ridiculous, I mean, I might say something, but other than that, I'm not, you know, where I come from, it's like, if you say it, you don't say it like out loud, you come and say it to me and we get down,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, none of that has happened, you know? And I don't know, it's just, it doesn't faze me. You know, you just got to learn how to just block it, because at the end of the day, too, they're not the ones putting food on the table. You know, you're the one paying the bills, whatever. So, I mean, they say if you got haters, you're doing something right, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. So, I mean, you use social media to really leverage your business, all your businesses, actually. And I'm sure there's a lot of negativity that comes in through there.
Yeah.
Do you read through that stuff, or do you just not even read through it?
You know what? I read through it, and I read through it to educate myself, because I want to see where these people are coming from and why they think this way. Okay, because you know, I'm seeing all these people. They assume like, okay, I have like nice cars, and like, okay, I see these comments. Oh, this daddy's car, this and that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, where the fuck does this guy come from? You know, where did he grow up? You know, because if he's saying that, then what kind of people are really out there? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just trying to be aware for myself, you know, just in case I meet people, and you know, it's just me learning about different walks of life. You know how, you know, because maybe to them, this was never possible. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe people in the Midwest, I'm not knocking the Midwest, but you don't live like the city lifestyle, you know, so you don't see these people go from 0 to 100, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I would imagine, I mean, through growing up all the way till now, and I imagine in the future too, you've been faced with judgment for, I'm sure, a number of reasons. But how do you manage to stay comfortable in your own skin?
I mean, I just really don't care to, and I mean, nowadays it's obviously more acceptable, but I mean, I've been tattooed and stuff, and since I was like 18, and just the people I grew up with too, we just had that mentality of like, we didn't really care, you know?
Yeah.
You're gonna say it, just say it to us, and if not, then just be quiet, you know what I mean? I keep my hair clean. You know what I mean? I try to do the best I can to dress well, you know?
Right.
Because I always tell people too, it doesn't matter if you have tattoos or not, it's how you put yourself together.
Yeah.
You know, because you can have another dude that's completely covered in tattoos, but he looks like a garbage can.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just dirty. But so it's like, you know, you have to just be confident and be like well groomed and
Way you carry yourself.
Yeah, the way you carry yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, speaking of tattoos, do your tattoos have any meanings behind them?
Yeah, they actually have
All of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This one's funny right here. The neck. It says Rivon. Was a big step because this is what we consider life ruiners, hands and neck,
Okay.
because you can't get jobs
Yeah,
or whatever.
right?
But I got my mom's name, so she can't get mad. She got mad.
Can't get mad, Mom.
She got mad for a bit, and then she got over it. But yeah, so this is my mom's name right here, and then all these. I have a lot of diamonds on me, like a diamond on my neck. That's Pich is my last name, and that's how you say diamond in Khmer, in the Cambodian language. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a ton of diamonds, and then I have X's all over the place too. So I used to be straight edge. So I used to be in like the straight edge crew and whatnot. It's like in the hardcore music scene where we don't drink, don't smoke, don't do none of that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I was straight edge for about, I don't know, like 10 years. Obviously not straight edge anymore. But yeah, I didn't cover the tattoos. I think it was a big part of my life, so I just left them there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, being able to do that and stay straight edge through, you know, your growing up and living in that type of environment, that says a lot about how strong of a mindset you truly do have.
Yeah. Yeah, so if people wonder what the X's mean on my back, you know, what these X's here, and yeah, so.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I mean, so now I kind of want to know from you, how do you not make excuses for yourself? Because I know for myself, sometimes I'll think I want to do something and I just catch myself trying to make excuses of why I can't do it. And I want to know, like, how do you not do that? How do you just, like I said, stay laser focused?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't ever make excuses, but I got to prioritize.
Okay.
That's one of the things I'm like learning to do right now. And it's funny just to do things like not business related, you know? Like, for example, I got to like still take care of this Suburban tag for my dad, and I haven't been doing it. So I actually got to do that soon. But it's just about prioritizing and yeah.
Okay, so speaking of prioritizing, like what are the non-negotiables in your life?
I mean, if we want to talk like business-wise, yeah, I won't ever change the way like I market or the way I do my actual business, you know, because you know, we were a direct-to-consumer brand from the very beginning, and clothing brands weren't like this prior. They were always about retail stores, and I was never for like the big corporations and stuff. So, I mean, I always hold myself firm of saying no, even for like the big bucks, because I want to stay true to what our brand is about, which is always about like family and culture, you know? So I always stand firm about that, and, you know, no money can change that or nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that stuff I think lasts and builds integrity and makes, you know, things last longer. So there's a couple core values I always keep, you know, that I'm not gonna ever switch up, you know, like obviously where I came from and stuff like that. I never forget all my friends from back home, and, you know, just regular, I guess, morals and values.
Yeah, I love that you stay true to yourself, whether that means breaking rules or not. I mean, I definitely think that says a lot about you. And your brand, like you said, it's a lifestyle brand. So you grew up in surfing, skating, things like that. And I think that is what helped lead you into, you know, your fitness lifestyle. Is there anything that you can recommend for maybe some people listening, like hobbies to take the baby steps into getting into their healthy lifestyles?
I mean, if you're not at the gym or working out, if you don't have time, I mean, there's other things that you can do, obviously, like parking your car far from the grocery store, you know, walking there, or if you're going up like 2 flights of stairs, like take the stairs. You don't be lazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't take a lot to be active, you know, to go outside, walk around the block. I think some people too feel like they look dumb doing it. And I'm just like, if you have that mentality, like get that get that out, you know what I mean? Because like, this is your health, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I'm noticing that now with myself, I don't have too much time to lift or, you know, spend at the gym like an hour or so, and I'm like my muscle recovery time is a lot slower and stuff. So like I still have to stay active because I have to still stay in shape. So I have to watch what I eat. But I'm like finding skateboarding back, you know, just cruising around. I'm not like doing tricks or anything, but I'll take like a skateboard to go get like water down the street or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just finding little things here and there to stay active and just raise your heart rate, you know, I think that helps.
So do you have any like advice or tips for people that maybe do feel dumb just because they feel like they're getting judged whether they are or not, on how to block that?
I mean, they can just look at me as an example, or it's going to be hard to really dig into the person's head, but you know, if they really want like results or change like their lifestyle, if they feel like they're in like a rut, you know, they just have to know that they're the only ones that are going to be able to make that decision. You know, we can pound, you know, these ideas or motivation into their head, but they have to make that initial decision. And it comes right here. It's so easy, you know, because everyone asks me that too, like, how do you do it? You know, like, you just have to switch that switch in your head, you know, and just make that initial step, you know, as hard as it is, you know, just make that initial step and then make that a habit and just keep growing at it, you know.
Yeah.
Small steps is better than none.
Absolutely.
You know? So.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think you're a great role model to have in that sense, because you are, you know, you have so much confidence. You don't let judgment get to you, and you are living proof that hustle and grind truly does pay off in whatever you want in life.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, kind of wrapping it up here, I want to know, what does living beyond the scale mean to you?
Living beyond the scale. I don't know, living without boundaries, I guess. Doing my own thing, making my own path, you know. Yeah, I guess do whatever I want.
Do you?
Do me, yeah, do you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I absolutely love your Live Fit brand. I know around town, everywhere I go, all over social media, I see it everywhere. If anyone wants to purchase any of your stuff, where can they go?
Oh, they'll go to www.livefitapparel.com, and all my links are on there too. I have a personal website too as well, randall-pich.com, and then my other brand, topthreads.com, and yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. All the links will be somewhere here. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We'll make sure we add those. Do you have any workout tips that you can share with us as a busy entrepreneur?
Lately, I've just been like doing like high intensity workouts, like 15 minutes here and there, you know.
Okay.
But I mean, I haven't been lifting like crazy lately. So lately it's just been literally like basketball and skateboarding. So I don't know if I can give any tips on that.
Well, you still look fit. So, I mean, doing high intensity workouts, it seems to be still working for you, even with the busyness.
Yeah. I mean, I still work out like, okay, I guess here's a tip still, I guess. I'll do full body workouts. I used to split my workouts like a bodybuilder, where I just do chest and tris. Now I'll do like full shoulders, chest, and tris one day, you know, then back and bi still another day. And then I'll do that for like 15 minutes, then play basketball and whatnot.
Okay. Awesome.
So I still throw the weights around and then I'll get into the cardio workout.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And for any of our listeners that want to get started on your fitness journey, make sure you go to fitbodybootcamp.com to claim your 3 free sessions at a location near you. Thank you, Randall, for being on the show. Thank you for sharing your insight and your story with us. I truly appreciate it. And we hope to have you again on in the future.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, see you soon.
Did you know that you could have done a full workout in the amount of time it took you to listen to this podcast? Go to fitbodybootcamp.com to claim your 3 free sessions now. And remember to join me next Tuesday so you can see who our special guest is. Until then, remember to live a fit body, fit mind forever.